Okay, so here we are talking about the conditional perfect tense, which is translated as I would have done something. Now, this tense is obviously not what I have done, but it's what I would have done. So let's just see if we can consider what we know already. If you can see here, we've got this I have played, j'ai joué. Yeah, we've got the person, the auxiliary verb, and the past participle. And if you consider what we have got underneath, all we have to do to make it into the conditional perfect, not I have played, but I would have played in English, we simply put the have into the conditional, would have. And we do exactly the same in French. So you simply put the have bit, j'ai, into would have, which is j'aurais. And so if you know how to form the perfect tense, then the conditional perfect is incredibly simple. So all you have to do, instead of saying I have played, you simply say I would have played. So the avoir goes into the conditional tense, the auxiliary verb as we call it. The past participle stays exactly the same. So let's see if we can remind ourselves of the conditional tense of avoir, I would have, and then we can just add the past participle on the end, and you can have a quick look at that. Okay, make sure you've got pad and pen handy, or your booklets, or something to write on that you can have a go yourself. So keep on stopping if you need to. So these are all the people that we talk about in a verb, what we call the whole verb paradigm. Je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. And the conditional of have, I would have, is this. So let's have a quick look what we've got. So I would have, aurais, tu aurais, il aurait, nous aurions, vous auriez, is aurait, and evidently is aurait. We don't pronounce the ends of these words. Aurait, 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 aurien, auriez, aurait, aurait. Even though it ends in ENT, still doesn't matter. Now there's still one little teeny tiny problem here. You can't have these two vowels next to each other. You can't say je aurais because it just doesn't work like that. So we have to take away that and add an apostrophe just to show that we've got a letter missing. J'aurais. So I would have played, j'aurais joué. So let's have a quick practice. So I would have played tennis, dead easy. We've got jouer au tennis. So it's I would have, so j'aurais, and then the past participle, take off the ER, add an E acute accent. You would have eaten a cake. So go back and have a quick check of the conditional tense of avoir. So it's tu and aurais. You take off the ER and add an E acute. He would have worked in the garden. So it's going to be il aurait, take off the ER, add E acute accent. My mum would have bought a book. So it's my mum. And so we're going to be saying, instead of my mum, we're going to replace elle. So we have to use aurait. So ma mère aurait, she would have bought. We would have finished the book. So we is nous aurions. Now IR verbs, we take off the IR, add an I. You would have chosen a dog. So again, vous auriez, take off the IR, add an I. My parents would have sold a house. Obviously that didn't happen. So mes parents, you can check which bit of the verb it would be. It's obviously going to be they, isn't it? It's going to be aurait, but spelled like that. And with RE verbs, if you remember, take off the RE and add a U. And it's as simple as that. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a quick practice at those irregular verbs. Let's have a quick reminder of what verbs are irregular with the perfect tense, so therefore with the conditional perfect tense as well. So you can pause your screen here, you can keep on coming back to it, but you can have a see of all these ones that are irregular. So let's have a go at these ones. I would have been able to play tennis. Ooh. Now then, being able to obviously comes from the verb pouvoir, we can't say can, but we say I would have been able to. So you have a quick check down here. Is it down here? No, it isn't. I haven't put it down. Never mind. We can easily do that. So pouvoir, to be able to, means j'ai pu. Okay, all work in the same way. So let's have a quick look. So you want to have j'aurais pu jouer au tennis. I would have been able to play tennis. You would have seen a film. So tu aurais, and the past participle for to see is vu. He would have made a cake. Made is the same as did, so il aurait. Check your ending because it's irregular. She would have read a book. So elle aurait, and then that's your past participle. Elle aurait lu un livre. We would have drunk some wine. It is Friday night after all. Nous aurions, and then bu du vin. Lovely. You would have offered a present. We say gave generally, but I put offered because that's generally what the French people say. So vous auriez, and then hop, offert un cadeau. They would have put on a jumper if it had been cold, perhaps. Ils auraient mis un pull. The girls would have written a letter. So les filles and auraient, because it's they, obviously, and that's past participle. Les filles auraient écrit une lettre. Fantastic. Now then, it's not quite as simple as that, unfortunately. Can you remember these verbs? Da, 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 da. This is I went, or literally I have gone. And if you can remember when we did the perfect tense, they don't use avoir, they don't say I have. The 13 verbs that use être. Je suis allé, je suis arrivé. So let's have a quick reminder of what they are because we have to do exactly the same thing now. We have to put, instead of I would have gone, we have to put this bit into the conditional tense. This comes from the verb être, to be. So I would be is je serai. And it's as simple as that. Obviously, we have to remember to make our past participles agree because we're using être as our auxiliary verb. Okay, have a quick reminder of what these are. So these verbs, just these 13, sort of ish, will use être and will work in the following way. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so here are the people again. Je, tu, il, elle, en. I don't know why we've got her there. Nous, vous, il, and elle. And let's remind ourselves of the conditional of the verb to be. So if you can guess serait, it's going to be down here, and I will need to clone that one because it's going to work exactly the same for they and they. Seriez, there we go. Oh, serions, serait, serait with a T, un serait avec un S. Je serais, tu serais, il serait, nous serions, vous seriez, il serait. As you can see, these are all pronounced in exactly the same way. The only difficulty with this bit is you have to remember that this has to agree with whichever person that you're talking about by adding e's or s's, whether they're feminine or plural. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back and have a look at the perfect tense, and then I'll explain more. So let's have a quick practice, and then you can have a go by yourself. So I would have gone to school. So aller à l'école. Je serais. Oops. Take off the ER, add E accent. Now, I'm a girl, so I'm going to put an E on the end. If you're a boy, obviously you don't need to. You would have left at 10. So it's going to be tu serais. Take off the IR, add an I. Now, if we're talking to a girl, we'd have ni. If we're not, we keep it like that. So let's just imagine we're talking to a boy there. He would have come with me. come in with me. So il serait. Now then we take off the er, add an e. It's obviously he is not, doesn't need anything adding on to the end because he is always masculine and singular. She would have got off the train. They say got down. It's exactly the same thing. So elle serait descendue. Now she obviously is always feminine. So you add that e on. We would have gone up the Eiffel Tower had we been a bit braver. Nous serions montés. Take off the er, add an e. Now then, depending on who we is, or we are, we have to add an agreement. If we're a group solely of girls, we're going to add an e, but we always have to add an s. If we're a group of mixed or just boys, then it looks like that. Okay. You would have come before. Okay, so vous seriez, and this is one of the weird ones which is irregular. Now then, you, as you can see, it wants to be plural here, so we're going to have to add an s. If you're talking to females, you add an e. If not, then you just keep it as an s. They would have died. Oh my goodness, let's hope not. So, il serait, and this is our irregular, mort. It's obviously mixed, so we don't add an e, but we have to add an s. And they would have been born, so elle serait, and again this is irregular, so ne, and add an s on the end. Okay, so this is all the conditional perfect tense. It says I would have done something, but you must remember you either have your avoir verbs, which work I would have and the past participle, or you have your être verbs, which take I would have, but they take the verb to be. So I would be and your past participle. So have a think of a sentence and have a go yourself. This is a really, really, really good tense to use with the pluperfect. If I had done something, I would have done something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one on the pluperfect tense. And if you use the word if, si, and them together, you'll see how they make a really good sentence. Okay, so have a go yourselves, and I will speak to you soon.